Welcome in. Let's try this again. Welcome into the DNVR Rockies podcast, brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. That's right. It's football season. It's DraftKings Sportsbook season 2. Now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can use promo code DNVR to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet this Sunday. That's code DNVR only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Welcome to postseason Suze, a postseason show. We've got Kale too.
Ba, 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 ba.
Yes, we're ready to get weird because I'm super tired still from my trip to LA, but we're going to talk some wildcard baseball. We're still going to talk about the LA trip because we're going to hear from Kirsten Watson, who is the sideline reporter who covers the Dodgers. We had a great conversation about baseball and women in sports. It was really amazing. We also talked to Ruehle, who is the organist at Dodger Stadium. He was an absolute riot to listen to all weekend. He does a great job. So we talked to him too. Little music and baseball. Made sure I lined that up for Kale because Kale's a music guy. We all know it.
It's true.
It's true. And yeah, and we're going to talk some Rockies news too. But first, let's talk about the Wildcard Weekend. All the postseason action kicked off on Friday. Kale, have you watched any baseball games?
I have not.
I am truly living for everyone posting pics of their multiple screens to watch multiple games at once. The Cleveland Guardians had their first ever playoff game. Because, the team has made the playoffs before, but now they're the Guardians, so it's a whole different thing. They had a pitcher's duel through 6 innings. They beat the Rays. The Phillies and Cardinals also had a pitcher's duel through 6, and that game was just crazy. So Wheeler was dealing. He was dealing. He got through 6 innings with just 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Quintana, 5 1/3 inning, 2 hits, no runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Kayla, have you ever seen Quintana pitch, not pinch?
I have not.
Okay, so I have never noticed this before, but it sounds like he's dropping an F-bomb every time he throws. Like he makes a bah noise.
Good
but
for
like
him.
It kind of sounds like he's just screaming an expletive.
Sometimes you need to. I don't know what to say. Good for him.
Good for him. I messaged Danny Wexelman because she's from St. Louis. She covers all of baseball, though, for many different platforms. But I was like, is he yelling an F-bomb? I haven't heard back yet. The girl's busy because she works in baseball. But yeah, that was pretty entertaining for sure. Nolan Arenado hit a pop-out that honestly looked like a home run. Everyone thought it was a home run. Everyone on Twitter thought it was a home run. It was not a home run.
Sweet justice.
Sweet justice. Listen, Arenado got what he wanted. He said he just wanted to win the division. And they won the division. And maybe they won't get further than this because I think the stat is if you win the first game in a best of 3 series, you have a 75% chance of winning the rest of the series. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Phillies won that game. It was wild. Heading into the 9th, the Phillies were down 2-0. The Phillies scored when Alec Boehm got hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. So honestly, I loved seeing so many people on Twitter say this. They were like, oh, I'm still watching a Rockies game because we still got to see a bullpen implosion. That's exactly what happened, though. Their bullpen absolutely imploded. Helsley, the pitcher for the Cardinals, just totally lost the strike zone. Just totally lost it. Walked everyone and then hit Alec Boehm with a pitch. That got the rally going. Ended up being 6-3 Phillies. Won that first game after not being at the playoffs at all in 11 years. Crazy stuff. And then Seattle versus Toronto is underway already. Seattle got an early 3-0 lead. So as quiet as those other games were, this one got off to a fast start. Kale, do you have a rooting interest in anyone this postseason?
I'm a Mariners fan this postseason.
Yes, that's the right answer.
Of course.
I love it. So we've got a lot of games this weekend for sure. Should we check the schedule? I should have had this up already before we started talking. But yeah, I wanted to talk about, I posted on Twitter that Nolan Arenado still wishes he was playing at Coors, like especially after that hit that probably would have moved a little farther in the thin air at Coors Field. But so many people are just like, no, he doesn't. No, he doesn't wish he was still at Coors. And I'm like, all right, no one.
Like, have fun with the joke. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have fun on Twitter, not understanding any jokes whatsoever. Crazy stuff. All right, so I'm still recovering from my trip to LA, but I want to show you one of the highlights of my trip to LA. I had this great conversation with Kirsten Watson, who is just such a cool lady, such a cool chick. Big fan of hers. We chatted at Dodger Stadium. Kale, are we ready to roll that thing?
Ready to go.
Let's do it. All right, take a look. Kirsten Watson of the Dodgers. This is your second season. I mean, how special is it to be a part of a team that has done something so historic for you guys?
Honestly, it's crazy to think about. I mean, the last 2 years that I have been with this team, it's just kind of like each day I learn something new, whether it's about the guys, about the organization, and to see the journey that they are on and the hard work that they put in. Baseball's a grind, and I don't think many people talk about just what it's like to play 162 games. That is no easy feat. And then to win 110 of them, look, there are so many teams in this league that deserve it's the highest level of baseball, and so to achieve something like that should not be taken lightly, and it's an honor and it's a privilege to kind of just be on this journey with them. As much as I am, yes, the team reporter, they do make me feel like a part of this family, and so it's incredibly special, and you have moments where you're like, wow, like okay, 162, 2 years. Wow, that's insane. And, I saw the postseason. I traveled with them last year for the postseason, and I kind of saw the moments where you could just see that, all right, there was so much, whether it was emotional, mental, physical, like the grind that was. And by the time we got to Atlanta, you could just see that this team, honestly, they were exhausted. It looked like they were exhausted. But this year, it feels like something different. So it's
different.
Yeah.
What seems different this year to you?
Honestly, it might sound just like so simple, but they have so much more fun this year.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that.
I think last year, and you hear multiple people say this, but last year, it was kind of a mindset of just like you keep your head down, you're focused, you play baseball, you do what you got to do. And they were trying to fight that. They didn't want to have that World Series hangover, things like that. They wanted to show that, yes, it was an abbreviated season, but they still were a really good team and had so much to achieve and had a really big goal of trying to repeat. Obviously, ultimately, things were cut short when it got to the postseason. But it just kind of felt like things were just, I don't know if it was just like so serious. But this year, and while it's a lot of the same guys, there are some new pieces, whether it's a Freddie Freeman or I think Hanser Alberto is just like such a critical part of just the joy that this team has now.
He's a lot of personality.
He's a lot of personality, but it's also the way he brings everyone together. It's really special. And like, this team is really into their video games and things like that. And you just see that there's a different type of camaraderie among them. And I think that is a game changer. It's something that really stood out to me when I was watching, like we were in Atlanta last year, and just seeing how much fun the Braves were having. You don't really realize, like, yes, it's is a game, and a lot of people's careers are dependent on how they perform in this game, but it's also fun. And when you see guys really enjoying it and enjoying the day by day, I think that kind of just shifts the mentality a little bit. And I do believe that's one of the reasons they've had so much success this year, because whether it's they have Club Dub and if they win and there's a DJ set, there's all these different things going on and all of their inside jokes. We've seen so many t-shirts that and that's always a thing, but like it just feels a little bit different this year. And it's everything to like the guys in the bullpen and the camaraderie that they have and the connection, and they have leaders and guys like a David Price, and but it's also just it's fun. And they have guys that have had a lot of success but also know how to be serious in the moment, but also how to take a step back. And I just think that's a really critical thing that personally for me has stood out this season.
Yeah, I want to talk about the fun aspect. I think one of my favorite moments that I've seen, I saw it through social media, of course, but when you clinched, Yancy Almonte, former
Yes.
Rocky, just poured a beer right on your head with the biggest smile on his face.
Yes, I love that. they were just waiting for that moment, to be honest. They were like, Kirsten, are you ready? And I was like, not really. And it's funny, if you like watch the video at first, I like walked in and I was just like, oh, okay, so a lot is happening right now. A lot is happening. There was champagne flying everywhere, and like, I don't know if it's just like the women or like motherly instinct in me, and I was like, is this safe? Like, I had like this moment, and then I was just like, all right, well, I just gotta take it, because like there was a moment where like Gavin was like chasing me, and I was like, I don't know what to, please no, and then I lost, so it's fine.
You lost.
But I think moments like that are just, these guys have welcomed me in, you know, they as much as I do feel a part of their journey, I think just knowing that they also see it in that sense, and I think it's for all of the broadcast team, because we do travel with them, and you know, as much as it's a different type of grind, it is still a grind, and so I think that, you know, I do have a really good relationship with a lot of these guys, and so they were all teasing me before. They're like, are you gonna be ready for this? Like, is the hair ready? And I'm like, so listen, I have an appointment tomorrow. I'll be fine. But if not, I was going to be in there with a shower cap on. And we were just going to be like, listen, that's what we have to do. Y'all have to play again tomorrow. We're in Arizona. I have limited options, okay? And then we have to go somewhere else on this road trip after this? Like, come on. We have to get through. But it was my first time, which was awesome. And they've been teasing me. They're like, you do realize this will happen, like, again and again and again. So, I will say that I look forward to hopefully, you know, they win the World Series, and that will be the final champagne and beer shower of the year.
Yes.
And I think that would be so worth it.
I mean, I heard beer is good for your hair, but
I don't know about all that.
I
definitely had to wash like 3, maybe 4 times, just like, and luckily, like, the positive of now there's a women's locker room at all of the stadiums, and so I was able to like go and like shower quickly right after, just to like kind of. And at first, I literally just like walked in the shower with all the clothes on. So I was like, let's just at least try to get like some kind of scent of beer out of this. And then I went back to the hotel. I had to like wash my hair like 3-4 times. The next morning when I went to the hairdresser, I was like, please just scrub all of this, because she was so funny. But it all worked out. And then I felt bad though, because then we went to San Francisco after. So we were leaving the next day, and it was an earlier game. So it was just kind of like, all right, get on the, or maybe it was an evening game. Either way, we had to leave the next day, pack up in the morning, and when we got to San Francisco, I remember like calling the like dry cleaning and like of the hotel and being like, I'm so sorry, but I have some pieces that I'm gonna need to be cleaned.
Very smelly pieces.
Yes, and like they like, it literally just like reeked of beer, and they're probably like, what was this girl doing? And I was like, just blame the Dodgers. It's fine.
It was from work, I swear.
Yeah, exactly.
Fun, but not that much fun.
Yes. So it was really funny, but yeah, no, it's awesome. And like, it's a memory of a lifetime to be able to share that moment with them, for them to, you know, especially after seeing, you know, the challenges of last season and having to literally play through game 162 to try to force a game 163 with the Giants, and there was just so much going on. They weren't able to ultimately take the NL West, the Giants did, so for them to be able to come back this year, the success and everything, it's just really special to be a part of.
Yeah, it's rare for the Dodgers to not win the NL West.
No, it is, and but also, as much as it's rare, it happens.
Yeah.
And it also makes it mean, I think, a little bit more when you are able to come back. And I also think for this team, they hold themselves to such a high standard that you kind of look at, you know, they won the World Series. They did not let up the following year. You know, they had 106 wins, tied the franchise record then, the previous franchise record. So that's a really big deal, though, to not have a kind of deflated, not even a deflated, but like a flattened out season where things kind of start out slow, whatever. They got things going from the jump. And then, but like 106 wins and you still don't win the division, that's kind of crazy to think about. And you had to go through the wild card. And so there was that. And then this year, it didn't let up again. And this year, now 110, potentially 111, depending on how things go today. So it's crazy to think that they just, it's kind of like foot on the gas. They keep going, but this team, they do have really big goals. And you always hear from these guys just like how special this team is this year.
Yeah.
And so hopefully it all works out in the end.
Yeah. Well, if you're having that much fun, it must be special. I love talking to other women in sports because I feel like this is such an interesting time to be a woman in sports, where some of the challenges are maybe have let up a little bit. We have social media to be supportive of each other. What has been your experience in your career so far in terms of just the support you get from other women?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that we're very lucky that we're kind of in a time in which there is so much support, and there's a reason for that. There are so many women who have come before us who didn't have the same experiences, and so they kind of set the I don't know if setting the tone is the right word, but like kind of set the structure to, we need to support one another. And so coming into this role, I've been really lucky that every time I've gone to all of the other cities and have met the other reporters, and whether it's the team reporter, just like writers, things like that, there's always a camaraderie. And it's cool because we all are in very similar circumstances. And obviously each team is very different in how each organization is ran, but ultimately, like, we belong here, we deserve to be here, and it's nice when you can kind of walk in and you see someone who looks like you, and you can kind of have that moment of like, I see you, you see me, and you get it, because like, to be honest, like, there's still not enough women in this space. And I think in different sports it's a little bit different, but now that I've had experience working in basketball and football and now baseball, I mean, more often than not, I am the only woman in the clubhouse, or I am the only woman who is kind of here in the dugout with interviews and things like that. And I think when I first got here, especially in this job specifically, I kind of felt like I had to learn so much from the people around me, but I realized I was learning from a lot of men who, not to take anything away from them, they're all incredible and fantastic, and I have really great relationships with them. My voice is very different than their voice, and I think, having the privilege to then kind of, as I traveled in different spaces, and even just meeting women through social media, things like that, I was able to really understand like who I am in this space, because I do bring something different. I'm going to just in general have a different relationship, whether it's with the guys, with the organization, things like that, because I am a woman in sports, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's honestly an incredible thing. It's just it's a different dynamic, and so I think, kind of going back to your original question, it's been amazing to kind of meet the other women here and to kind of learn from them and what works, and just obviously it's a grind, and there are different things that as women that we want in our careers and things like that. So it's been special, and it's been fun, like making new friends, and yeah. I love it. It's been awesome, but
it is a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's different. It is very different, but it's I appreciate it.
Yeah, nice. Well, Kirsten, thank you.
Of course.
Thank you for your time. Good luck in the postseason.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I hope you get some rest after a nice long postseason.
We'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there. The time will come when it needs to be. I just hope that we are celebrating, and then we all can get some much deserved sleep.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. My gosh, she is such a sweet lady too. I love her. Big fan. Big fan of women in sports. I love that she's had a great supportive experience. Kale, you're a fan of women in sports?
Huge fan of women in sports.
Huge fan. Let's go.
Let's go. I don't know what more to say other than there should be more opportunities for women in sports, obviously.
We are going to get into some news and notes around baseball and around Rockies baseball. But first, we got to shout out the people who keep the lights on here at DNVR. But hey, are you a member? Because you really should be. If you are not a member of DNVR already, you are missing out on price breaks for Broncos tailgates and Nuggets party buses. Your annual membership comes with a free t-shirt from DNVRlocker.com, and we have like the best t-shirts. You get a member-sized beer at the DNVR bar. You get extra raffle tickets at all of our watch parties to win even more free gear, and you get access to our members-only Discord, so you can just talk your favorite sports with all your favorite people without having to worry about politics or jerks. Just all good vibes all the time. If you're not a member, don't fret. It's only 50 cents for your first month at thednvr.com. And here at DNVR, we love Game Time. It's the hottest ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sporting events, concerts, shows, and more. So if you've ever dreamed of sitting in a seat that you never thought you could afford, like maybe the 50-yard line, maybe courtside, maybe behind home plate, maybe floor seats at a concert, it's all possible with the Game Time app. Those last-minute price drops can be found on the seats that you never, ever thought you could buy. So the bottom line, if you love DNVR, you're going to love Game Time. It's the best way to support us, but an even better way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description of this podcast. So join over 15 million people who have downloaded the Game Time app and score all of the best seats to your favorite events. I saw some really good deals out in LA for the Dodgers games, and those games are packed. It was pretty fun. But listen, what's even more fun, Avaca TV, the new GOAT in all of Colorado sports, the greatest of all TV. Avaca TV delivers amped up sports coverage for all Colorado fans, featuring Altitude Sports and AT&T Sportsnet. So get the most regional content for the lowest price for sports in Colorado. So all in crystal clear HD while using less bandwidth, so you can enjoy over 60 entertainment channels with news, movies, and more. So turn your home into the ultimate game viewing zone. You can even stream your teams from your phone, laptop, tablet, any of your devices when you're on the go. So you can also use an ad, or you can also add on a discounted Sling TV bundle so you can get ESPN and more. This is such a great deal. Avaca TV is only $25 a month plus just a $5 receiver fee. But right now, Colorado sports fans get $10 off per month for your first 3 months. So to score this deal, go to EvacaTV/DNVR. That's EVOCA.TV/DNVR. No contracts, no catches. Avaca TV is made for champions of the remote. Got to get your TV set for Nuggets season and Avs season because it's all coming up. You got a Nuggets pregame show after this, right?
I do have a Nuggets pregame show after this.
Nice. Kale be working.
As always.
It's also pretty soon, right?
It is at 5:30, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll wrap this up shortly. But first, we got to talk about some news notes around baseball. One of our own. We got some news about Chad Kuhl. He was inducted into the University of Delaware Athletics Hall of Fame. So congratulations, Chad Kuhl. Look at that. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see a young Chad pitching for the Blue Hens. Mr. Delaware, good job. Congratulations. Kayla, are you a fan of Delaware? I'm not even going to ask you.
No, Delaware is a nowhere state, in my opinion.
It's such a good state. There's no sales tax.
Well, then now I love Delaware.
If you're in Philly, you drive a half hour to Delaware, you buy your booze, no sales tax, you bring it back. It's technically illegal. But listen, Pennsylvania state troopers have no jurisdiction over me talking on this podcast. I dare them to come find me.
Fair.
Aaron Judge earlier this week hit home run number 62, which is pretty exciting. I loved McCovey Cove Dave, friend of the show, since the Giants are totally out of it. He was at the game. He announced before the game if he caught it, he would only give Aaron Judge the ball if Judge signs with the Giants. And I thought that was hilarious. People were like jumping out of the stands trying to catch that ball. Did you see that?
Yeah, because they were going to be rich if they could.
And a rich guy caught it.
Which is just absolutely hilarious.
In other home run news, a dog caught Francisco Lindor's home run the other night too. So he was kind of the star of the internet. So with that happening, with this dog catching this home run and Aaron Judge's home run, Zach Campbell was trending on Twitter, of course, but it was just people roasting him. This dog is coming for Zach Campbell's career. Love a good roasting of enemy of Colorado, Zach Campbell. He deserves it.
You gotta love a good roasting.
Gotta love a good roast. Listen, if you're gonna come here and yell at our elderly ushers at our ballpark, you're the enemy of the people now.
It's true.
It's true. Did you know, apparently only 3 National League teams have never faced the Yankees in the World Series, and the Rockies are one of them. And all 3 of those teams are not in the 2022 postseason. But with that, it looks like the Rockies are leaning into postseason life. It looked like Rymack and his wife went to the Broncos game last night. Oh, wait, what was that? I forgot about a tweet that we had. Pull that back up. Wait, this is so funny. I totally forgot about this. I don't know where this statue is. It's a statue of this dude. It looks like he's pushing babies off of him, but the statue is dedicated to honor Zach Hampel, who bravely fought off 4 toddlers to catch Aaron Judge's 60-second home run.
It's a good tweet. It's a good tweet.
Such a good tweet. I totally forgot about it. Kale, thank you for showing that. Thank you for reminding me. But yes, I'm going to update you on the activities that I have seen Rockies doing so far. A lot of people have been pretty quiet on social media, but yeah, it looks like Rymack went to the Broncos game. It looked like trainer Mike Jasperson was golfing with Garrett Hampson and Kyle Freeland on this dreary day here in Colorado. Looks like Jonathan Dawes is back in Venezuela. So that's what's going on. They are just leaning in to a little rest. A little rest. But yeah, Rockies have 5 free agents heading into this offseason that we got to keep an eye on.
It's a lot.
That's a lot. So Jose Iglesias, Mr. Delaware, Chad Kuhl, Jose Urania, Alex Colomé, and Carlos Estevez. So we got to keep an eye. Not yet, because obviously they can't do anything until after the World Series, but we'll see. Arizona Fall League is cooking. Zach Veen went 1 for 4. He had 1 run and 2 walks. Yeah. So that was fun stuff. Okay. You know what? I think we should hear from Dieter Ruehle now.
Let's do it.
Yeah. So Dieter is the organist at Dodger Stadium. And he does a great job and has great reaction music for every situation you could possibly imagine in a baseball game. Things that I didn't even realize were a thing that you think about when you're playing the organ during a Major League Baseball game. So I got a chance to chat with him at the organ. Kale, let's roll it. Dieter Ruehle.
Yes.
How long have you been the organist here at Dodger Stadium?
It's my 7th year here at Dodger Stadium.
How does one become an organist at a Major League ballpark?
Well, I've been doing games over at Staples Center, Lakers and Kings, for a long time. And the organist here retired. They had me actually filling in for her final couple of years. And once she retired, they asked me if I wanted the position. And I was like, yes, of course, I would love it.
Is it tough to fill big shoes like that for something that is such a big part of someone's ballpark experience?
Yeah, big shoes to fill. But then I quickly learned I just had to be myself. Kind of like when Vince Scully left and then Joe Davis came in. Like we have to just be ourselves, and then hopefully that works.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You can't be someone else.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this a little bit the other day.
Yeah.
That would be great, but
The songs that you play, you don't use sheet music
No.
to get all those pop songs
Right.
into organ form.
Yeah, no, I prefer to learn it if I hear it on the radio, and I'll just look up the video on YouTube and learn it off of that. And this way it's more true to the original, like in the same key, same tempo, but basically the same keys. Well, I'm such a stickler for accuracy. I want it to sound as close to the original as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of song, or how do you decide what is in the repertoire for any given season or any given game?
I just try to mix it up, like a variety, because I consider the audience and what the fan base is. And I think it's all ages, So I just try to make it a variety, fun for everybody, hopefully. Yeah.
I noticed some songs that roasted the Rockies a little bit during some not so
Really?
great moments.
Okay, yeah.
What are some of the songs that
There's
you
a song,
use
yeah.
to let the other team know how they're doing?
I hope it's not too hardcore, but like the theme to Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think it's kind of funny. I hope
That's a funny one.
it's called
Yeah.
Frolic. It's like but yeah, I'll play that sometimes. Yeah.
It's fun. I also I think one of my favorite things when we go from someone's walk-up song to little organ riffs of it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thanks.
Yeah. So, do you take requests ever? If someone tweets at you and they're like, "Hey, I really want to hear a little bit of this."
Usually not, because I try to stay off my phone because it becomes distracting.
Yeah.
So I just try to focus on the game. But every once in a while, for example, a few years ago, somebody tweeted the suggestion of playing Twin Peaks.
Oh.
When the count's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So I've been doing that. But another one, my favorite, is a song by 311 called Amber. So when the scoreboard reads 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out, it's 311, and I'll play a little bit of Amber.
Why? Okay, yeah, let's.
So, people kind of know now. It's like, oh, the count must be 3 balls, 1 strike, 1 out.
Oh my gosh! Wait, because I've heard that song,
Yeah,
but
that's
I did
why.
not connect
That's why.
it.
That's the connection.
What are some of the other ones that I'm missing?
Okay. This happened a lot this year because the Dodgers are so good this year. We go up like with a 5-0 lead. There's an old TV show called Hawaii Five-0. So I'll just play the theme to that.
Oh my gosh! Wait, that's so
And
smart.
there's another one. Sometimes we'll go up 7-0. So I'll do it. Monday Night Football.
Yes.
Because it's a football score.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
It's a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. With the extra point.
With the extra point, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
That's hilarious.
Thank you.
There's so
I try.
many.
I mean, that's what it's about. Like, people are coming here. They should have fun. Win or lose, hopefully win.
Yeah.
They don't always win. So I think it's just about having a good time. We're at a baseball game. You know, it's not like an office cubicle type job. And this should be a fun job. And I try to I try to have fun with it.
I love that.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Can you play us off?
Yeah. Let's see. John Denver, right?
Yeah. All right. Loved that. Before I say anything else, we got to shout out a few more people like the American Raptors, the rugby club. It's composed of crossover athletes that have just ended their first season at 5-5, which is pretty good for former athletes coming together for the first time and putting their skills to a brand new test. So if you haven't heard of the American Raptors, they are Rugby Town USA's newest rugby team. The American Raptors are athletes who have competed at the highest level of their respective sports. So they come from backgrounds in football, basketball, baseball, wrestling, soccer, track and field. So these guys possess all the necessary skills to excel at the game of rugby. So what is the best thing about hitting up an American Raptors game? They are free, totally free. So head over to AmericanRaptors.com and grab your free ticket for the upcoming season. And if you can't make it to a game, AmericanRaptors.com will be streaming them all from their website, so check it out. But what's even better is that our guy, Colton Strickler, has it all covered for you with the weekly DNVR rugby podcast. So hit that subscribe button. So if you didn't get the ticket you wanted as an elite athlete, you can also check out opportunities at Infinity Park. Rugby may just be your next ride. So follow him, follow our DNVR rugby account, and keep up with all of the latest news. You can learn rugby from Colton's 101 Rugby podcast, exclusive interviews with athletes and coaches, and provides betting advice on Super Rugby, which starts at the end of February. So all that and more at AmericanRaptors.com. And listen, we got to mention Travis Legal. If you've been in a car crash that wasn't your fault and you now have injuries, medical bills, lost income, property damage, that's really going to disrupt your life. So where do you go from there? Don't assume insurance companies will look out for you. Insurance companies will go to great lengths to tilt the playing field in their favor, and you need an experienced attorney on your side who has your back. And good news, that is Travis Legal Offices. They totally understand how hard it is with the aftermath of car collisions, and they want to be in your corner fighting for what you deserve. Travis Legal Offices is a family-run law firm experienced in Colorado personal injury cases and insurance disputes. Travel Legal Offices has attorneys who were educated locally at DU and CU law schools and have a staff with more than 35 years experience in handling personal injury cases. So call Travis Legal Offices today at 303-7 303-766-8766 for a free consultation on your personal injury matter. That's 303-766-8766. And you can also reach out 24/7 on the web at travislegaloffices.com. There is respect, response, and results, and Travis Legal Offices keeps that motto in mind on each and every case they work on. So check out Travis Legal Offices today. My favorite part of talking to Dieter Ruehle, the organist for the Dodgers, he was actually so bummed that Charlie Blackmon was injured because he'll actually play Charlie Blackmon's walk-up song when he's there.
That's sick.
It's sick, yeah, because it's like such a good song too.
It's a great song.
It's such a great song. So he was pretty bummed. He also mentioned that he tried out to be the Rockies organist like right before they started playing at Coors Field, and he was the runner-up. But it all worked out. He's been in LA. He's been crushing it.
Love that for him. Also, we have an organist.
I actually don't know. I guess at some point there was an organist. If we do, he does not do like what the Dodgers do, because you just hear a lot of reactionary music, and it's very entertaining. I was very entertained. Dodger Stadium is so weird to watch a game, though. It's such a strange place. I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod before, but like people act like they've never been to a baseball game before. They lose their mind at every pop fly, like it's going to be a home run, and it like is nowhere near a home run. They do the wave like 7 times per game. They're like throwing beach balls all over the place. It's just a chaotic experience.
Sounds like LA.
It's very LA. I saw some famous people, and that was really fun. Kale, I do want to do a mental health check with you. Because I know you're a huge Broncos fan, and things were not great last night.
Things are not great in general in Broncos country right now. We're having a struggling day.
Broncos country, let's hide.
Exactly. Broncos country, let's hide.
Broncos
That's how
country,
I feel.
Let's cry.
Broncos country, let's cry. All of the above. I'm doing a little rough, but that's okay. The Broncos are in worse shape than I am, so...
Someone asked me on Instagram, I think, is Russell Wilson being paid to play football or just say let's ride in interviews?
I hate that. I hate that.
I really did not watch the game because Megan Angley and I were at a really cool event last night. Oh, they can hear me. Good. So, yeah, we were hanging out with Cale McCarr. We were hanging out with Miko. So we were at this awesome event at Union Station hosted by Fanatics. And like there were fans there. It was a pretty intimate group. It was really cool though. So people could bring stuff to get autographed. There was a whole meet and greet. People submitted questions beforehand and did a whole Q&A. And like, I don't know these guys that well because I don't cover the Avs, but Megan, of course, knows them very well and like knows their personalities. But she was saying like, oh, they were actually so candid. They were so fun. They were so off the cuff and they gave such great, interesting answers. I was like, okay, like I really love that. Like everyone got a professional picture with them. Everyone got a swag bag and a signed picture. So I was like, okay, this was so cool. And I was not even a little sad that I missed the Broncos game because it was such a cool time.
Don't be sad. The game was not worth watching.
Not worth watching. So, yes, we hung out with a different Kale last night.
The more important one, I might add.
No. You are the most important Kale in my life.
Well, the other Kale brought us a Stanley Cup, so I'm not even the most important Kale in my own life.
Let's look forward to the rest of the baseball we have going on this weekend. So, okay, last I checked, the Mariners and Blue Jays are still playing. It's still the bottom of the 9th. It's 4-0 Mariners. Thoughts and prayers for Raimel Tapia. We've got Padres at Mets, game 1 at 6 o'clock tonight. I bet we'll have it on at the bar.
I'll bet you we will.
I bet you we will. It's also the Friday afternoon club. Kale, what should I get for dinner at the bar tonight?
The poutine.
Ooh, I haven't had the poutine yet.
You should try it.
You know I love fries.
You're a potato person.
I'm a potato person. I'm dressed like a potato right now. I'm such a fry guy, too.
Such a fry person.
I come from a long line of fry guys. But yeah, lots of great baseball coming up. Tomorrow, Rays at Guardians. Their game 2 will be at 10 a.m. Oof. That is early. 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Mariners, Blue Jays, they'll play at 2 o'clock. Padres at Mets game 2 will be at 5:30. Phillies at Cardinals, 6:30. And then they'll all play again on Sunday if necessary. So yeah, we'll talk to you guys next week. Kale, you're rooting for the Mariners, you said, right?
I am.
Everyone else who's listening right now, please do let us know who you're rooting for. Let us know in the comments or tweet at us. You can tweet at us at DNVR_Rockies. Kale, tell the fam where we can follow you.
At Kale Sorbo. Kale with 2 L's.
Kale with 2 L's. And I'm at the Suzie Hunter on all platforms. This has been fun. We're going to send y'all off to the weekend. But you know what they say about closing out shows?
They say something.
They say something about them. They say, I don't know how to close a show. So we'll just talk to you on a different show.